The HOA fined me for hanging Christmas lights on my own house, so I turned their office into the brightest display in town. It all started at the beginning of December. I spent an entire weekend putting up lights for my kids. Strings of red and green covered the roof. A glowing Santa stood proudly in the yard. Even the fence sparkled with tiny white bulbs. Neighbors walked by and smiled. Kids pointed and laughed with joy. But 2 days later, a letter arrived. The HOA called my decorations a violation of community standards. They slapped me with a $700 fine. I thought it was a mistake, so I went to the office to explain. The president sneered and said, "This isn't a circus, take it down." I argued that it was temporary. He laughed and said, "Rules are rules. Pay or else." Meanwhile, half the board had their own tacky plastic snowmen, but no fines for them. It was pure hypocrisy. My kids were heartbroken when I told them the HOA wanted the lights gone. That's when I decided to fight back. I started documenting everything. Photos of every house with decorations, videos of board members plugging in lights of their own, and copies of the so-called rule that never even mentioned Christmas. I filed a complaint with the city for discriminatory enforcement. Then I made my move. One night, I rented a generator and extra floodlights. With a few friends, I set up a display right outside the HOA office. Dozens of glowing reindeer, an inflatable Santa 20 feet tall, strings of lights draped across the entrance. Even the trees in their parking lot sparkled. By morning, the office looked like the North Pole exploded. Neighbors cheered. Cars stopped to take pictures. The HOA board was furious. They threatened to call the police. But when officers showed up, I showed them my permits for the generator. The cops shrugged and said, "Looks legal to us." For the first time, the board had no power. Meanwhile, the city inspector confirmed my fine was invalid. He warned the HOA about selective enforcement. And when my complaint went through, the board faced over $15,000 in penalties. The president who mocked me was forced to step down. Other members resigned quietly. The new board voted to allow holiday decorations with no restrictions. And me? I used the refunded fine money to buy even more lights. Now every December, my house shines brighter than ever. My kids laugh, my neighbors celebrate, and the HOA office stays dark. They tried to dim my joy. Instead, I lit up their downfall. If you believe justice is sweeter when it glows, like this story, and subscribe for more HOA revenge.